This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 3 in this best of 3 between vVv and IP. IP's player going to be the pink Protoss, CakeBlackson, while vVv is going to be the purple Protoss, Rocker, obviously. If you take a look at the names in the top right. Last game we did see Cake come on back and basically do as you can see Rocker saying, Colossus spammer. Did actually produce quite a good amount of Colossus, was up on the upgrades the entire time. He did not expand as early as Rocker, but applied early pressure and kind of punished Rocker for expanding. Go check out the game if you haven't seen it. Third game here is going to be on Antigua Shipyards. As always, it's going to be the MLG version or the GSL. I'm not 100% sure which version it is, but it is going to force cross position, so we'll see exactly what these two players have in store for one another, as far as are they going to try and apply early pressure again, which one of these players is going to take it home for their team, and what kind of exciting battles are we going to see. Like I said, if you have not seen the first two games, please go check it out. They are great games. Usually I don't like Protoss versus Protoss, but these two games so far, they were promised to be epic PvPs, and they really are. I have yet to see a 4-gate in any of them, so maybe we'll see a 4-gate this time around, but I have not seen a 4-gate thus far. And just the mind games that have been played, especially in the first game with the fake 4-gate, you should definitely go check it out. I mean, I can't talk highly enough of how well these two players are playing in these two games, just showing a different level of PvP altogether, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So right now we're going to see both players opening up quite standardly, just doing the one gas, one gateway type of build. Nothing particularly noteworthy as to opening games. I always love the openings of Protoss versus Protoss because it's really just the same thing. The only deviation you could potentially see is no gas 2-gate zealot rush, but that is so easily scouted, especially in PvP, and it's so easily held that you don't really want to do it. 2-gate Protoss zealot rush, and more effective against a Zerg or even a Terran if they're not properly walled or prepared for it. So as you can see, just doing a little bit of probe harass, just trying to get some damage done, but no, those 3 probes gonna strike back, say, get the hell away from my minerals, good sir. I'd rather not kill you. We are gentlemanly probes here. The second gas gonna be dropping down for good old Blackson. Ugh, the color of black and purple and pink rather, just gonna confuse the hell out of me until this last game is over. And, it's driving me nuts. As you can see, Zealot's gonna finish it up. Boom! Oh, you did not want to lose that too early. That's unfortunate. And I do like that actually Cake rather, is sending his probe a little on the later side. Not gonna get it picked off too early. Is gonna gamble and send it straight on through the probe line, and he's gonna get a little bit more information than good old Rocker was able to get with his probe, because it is not going to be killed. He is gonna see that there is no Zealot coming out. The Zealot should have been out by now, 4-minute mark. Usually the Zealot's popped out 4-minute 3-second mark, I think is the exact time. But without a Zealot, he's going to know that the Stalker is on the way, and that it's going to be a late Stalker followed by a Sentry, which I like. Again, if he sees this, if he can scout that Sentry, he can expect that he's saving minerals for something in particular. Maybe he's or maybe he's just low on the minerals. But usually when you see Sentries out, you can expect an expand of some type. Probe going to be holding the middle ground for a little bit while he waits for the rest of his reinforcements to pop. And what do we got up top here? We do have just a Robo, so 1-gate Robo going down over here, which is a little bit of Zealot pressure. This is the kind of the style that it looks like Cake likes to play, the very aggressive style, and Rocker could potentially lose this right here. And is he gonna lose this Stalker? No, he is not. He is not gonna lose Stalker, and actually didn't take any damage. Shields were maintained just barely at the 10 mark, therefore not taking any real damage as those shields quickly regenerate. As you can see, that number quickly ticking up very rapidly. And now, with that quick Robo, you're going to actually notice that the Observer is going to be out very quickly, like last game. Really likes to get his scouting information, wants to know what he's doing, and maybe set up some sort of similar playstyle from last game. If he sees an early expansion going down, it can pop out a lot of units and push him with a heavy army and try to punish him for expanding. As you see, the Observer is going to be dropping down once again. And now we're going to see these guys actually got to push out. He does have the Stalker just scouting, keep an eye on it. So Rocker does know it's coming. These Sentries are going to be doing their job and easily force field this ramp, not allowing them to pop up here, but still Rocker going to be able to potentially do a little bit of damage. He's going to try and scout on up there. Is he going to allow the probe to go? No, he is not. Didn't get really any information at all. As you can see, the Immortal. So actually both of these players playing extraordinarily similar to the way they did last game. Rocker dropping down his expansion again. So like I said, Sentry is typically indicative of expansions. 4th Sentry going down. And Cake is going to see this very, very quickly. He's going to see what's going on. He's going to see that there's going to be 2 gates. He's going to know that there is an expansion dropping down with that Observer Scout. And it's really going to pretty much tell him to do one of 2 things. He's either going to put down a lot more army like he did last time, force out an army, maybe do some more Immortals. It looks like he's going to be doing that right now, and push in to do some damage, or he's going to expand right on behind it. If he allows Rocker to have his expansion and get away with it and not do a lot of damage, then he's going to pay for it in the late game. On the other hand, if he does expand behind him as well, it doesn't do any damage, but expands right about now or very shortly from now, then he should be just fine. He's going to see that Warp Prism's up, so that Observer telling him very, very important information, knows that potential drops are going to be played this game, if not a mobile Warp Prism, a mobile pylon essentially, to allow some warp-ins for some harassment style. And it does look like that he is going to expand. He does not want to do what he did last game, not going to pop a huge amount of aggression. Is going to build up a decent army, so maybe push out with this in a minute. It could handle this actually quite well. And actually Rocker killing off that Observer. That's unfortunate for Cake, as the Observer lasted a little bit longer last game and gave him a bit more information. Probe transfer going down. If we take a look at the worker counting station, we are looking that Rocker is ever so slightly ahead. And honestly, that worker just being ever so slightly ahead is going to help out, especially if Cake does not push to try and stop this expansion from doing a lot of damage. This army at the front, actually, with all these sentries, if he sees it coming, and he does have an Observer, so he could easily see it coming, could easily force field the ramp, buy him time to warp in more units to just help him out, and even more sentries just to bake a quadruple short. But it does look like Cake is actually going to just move to the expansion and try to match up with that type of macro style oriented play. We do have Blink almost finished up, so I do like the Blink Stalker play. It is one of my favorites, especially in a Protoss versus Protoss with proper Blink micro. You can do a hell of a lot of damage while taking very little damage in turn. So it'll be exciting to see what kind of Blink micro Cake has. I don't quite remember from the other 2 games if we did see much Blink micro at all. Probe transfer going down as well down here, so not too far behind in the expansion. And this is going to actually, with his expansion fully saturated now, this is going to basically cue Rocker to push out and trying to do some damage. This army looking quite formidable. These sentries could be the all-important game-changing or battle-changing factor here. Both Observers, this is going to see each other here right at the front lines, and it is going to cue Cake to back up, as he really doesn't have much. Just a handful of Stalkers and an Immortal. Going to be warping in 1 sentry and a couple Zealots to try and take some damage, but I do like Rocker's ability, and I do like Rocker's army rather a bit more right now. Picking off that pylon, going to do a little bit of damage there, going to force the rebuild of another pylon. Is he going to pick off this Warp Prism? No, he is not. If he picked that off, that could have really helped, but now that he has this Warp Prism still in there, he can play a little drop games. He can even warp in, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do right now, is warp in just a single Zealot, try and beef up his army just a little bit, and now it's really just kind of a waiting game. We are in the reverse roles as we had last game. Last game, Cake did have Rocker contained for quite a while, and it looks like Rocker is going to play the opposite end and actually contain Blackson just a bit, and kind of give himself the nudge he needs to try to pull ahead as far as the macro game goes. But we do have an Observer just getting a good old scout of everything. Is going to see that another unit is being made, and he could probably assume, since he doesn't see a Robo facility, that it is going to be another Immortal. Double Stargate going down, and what do we have warping in? Phoenixes. I love me some good Phoenix play. Pick up those Immortals, make sure they're not being used against the Stalkers, wipe out the rest of the army, and then let the Immortal drop down and finish it up. It looks like Rocker is doing a hell of a lot of damage on the inside as well. Did some warp in play here. Blackson just going to quickly clean this up. Does he have the ability to stop it? Oh, more Rocker Zealots are pushing in at the end. I would like to see Rocker actually pushing up the ramp right now as well with his army. And actually, as I say that, here it comes. They're forcing him to split his army, spend resources he doesn't want to on extra units, and that's going to lose an Immortal right here. This is not looking good for Cake at all. He needs to be able to hold this a bit better, but it does not look like he's going to be able to. Going to pick off, oh, good cancel right there. Going to pick off that 1 Warp Prism and stop him, and then picking off whatever units he can. This Colossus may be the tide-turning battle changer right now in this. He needs to hold this up, and luckily he did. If we take a look at the units lost tab, they're equal, pretty much equal. Wow, that's surprising. In the units lost, both losing 14 units, though Cake just losing a bit more in the resources. So, though I thought that Cake was a little bit behind in that battle and that outcome, he actually did fine. He actually evened it up quite nicely. In the work counting station, Cake is quite behind in the workers, about 5 behind, and unfortunately that is definitely going to show itself in the later battles if he does not hurry up. And unfortunately he had to spend a lot of those units and a lot of those resources on building more units on the inside of his base to defend the zealots that were warped in, and these phoenixes could really change things. These phoenixes could pick up pretty much just a few units and just stop them from really being useful at all. And now we are going to have even more phoenixes joining the fray. Is he going to do some probe harass? He may. Let's follow them. The scouting team moving into the base, heading straight for the probe line, picking up probes, setting him even further back as far as the economy is concerned, picking up ones that are mining gas, picking up ones that are mining minerals, and all the while it looks like that's going to force Cake to try and do some extra aggression here as well. But these immortals could really change it. And I love the phoenixes there just to pick off the Colossus. Losing that Colossus is really going to sting Cake at this point in the game. Is he going to be able to hold it off without the Colossus? It does look like Rocker wants to push. These immortals could handle pretty much all of those stalkers, and the zealots are basically just there to take blows and die for the name of ire. And sadly, Rocker is actually going to push in here now and actually pick up some stalkers to basically take them out of the battle. The immortals are going to try and do some massive damage, and it looks like they're going to be able to. A couple of force fields just trying to choke them in, have them be able to pick off, but Rocker just going to regular move up the ramp. Another good force field. The force is split. One of the immortals not able to do anything along with one of the sentries, but as you can see, immortals powerful as hell, can easily clean up pretty much all of those stalkers, and Rocker is just doing a hell of a lot of damage right now. I'm curious what the unit counting station says about the workers. Sid and Cake still a good chunk back at this point. Is he going to be able to do anything else against this? He's just going straight for the probes with these zealots. Going to aim for the Nexus, focus fire, while good old Cake decides to warp in some zealots to try and get in there. Throwing the probes out there. This is the desperation move. I like that. He had him floating through the units. He obviously clicked on a mineral patch somewhere in the lower area and then tried to get a good old surround, but sadly the immortals are going to do their job and kill off all of them, and I just don't see Cake coming back from this any longer. He has no probes that is natural. He only has 27 probes to 52, and Rocker could easily expand behind this if he felt the need to, but it looks like he's not going to. Cake saying good game, well played. So Rocker gonna be the game winner in this best of 3 between Clan vVv and Clan IP. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this best of 3. I will have more videos up for you very shortly. I even am gonna have a Project Zomboid series up very shortly as well. Thanks so much. This is Matt the StarCraft signing on out.